Welcome to A Fifth of Jack Gaming, where we're going to do a review on the Mighty Nein. This is the library edition, and we're doing this because we're celebrating Christmas this month, and this is Critical Role, so it has to be part of that, right? This is Mighty Nein. This is the second campaign of Critical Role. So without further ado, let's switch on over to our little pet cam and be able to show you the art that we have inside. This is the library edition, so it's a bigger book, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging to have a little bit zoomed in. So it's going to be a little zoomed out a little farther than normal. These end sheets have a little design on it. It's not the logo of the group. Mighty Nein, created by Critical Role. So Volume 1, Library Edition. Mighty Nein's the second campaign. The first campaign was Vox Machina, followed by the Mighty Nein, and then by, I believe, Hell's Bells. This book covers 4 different characters. It covers Yasha, Caleb, Nat, and Jester. So before we go too far in deep, there might be some swear words or some interesting scenes. So viewers' discretion is advised. With that warning, let's break her down. First up is Jester. She's a variant of a tiefling. She's a cleric who does art and is more likely the comic relief of the group. And then her spiritual weapon ends up becoming a big giant lollipop. When I say variant of a tiefling, it's because she is cold instead of warm or fire, where you normally have a repeal between with their hellish repeal. Next up is this Yasha, who is a fallen Esmir barbarian. She prefers a double-handed weapon and likes to rage, like any good barbarian likes to do. Then we have Caleb, who's a human that's a wizard who likes to always be learning, gets all the books that he wants, and has this look at named Thumpkin. And then finally, but not least, is Not the bird. She is a goblin that's a rogue that likes to collect random things. And her and Caleb have a nice, interesting story. They end up meeting with one another and becoming over with it. We end up seeing that with the end of the story. Yasha has some security issues that came along, stemming from the origins that you end up seeing in this book. And Jester, you continually see her travels with the Traveler. Her message trying to get the Travelers all the way through to get more people to follow the Traveler. In her origins, you see her working side by side with the Traveler, trying to get the word out of this. Something unique about Thumpkin is that he can be switched into whatever he ends up wanting. A bird, plane, or an octopus. So it's a funny little thing when you look at the dynamics that they have of this book. You have a cleric, a barbarian / tank, a wizard, a magical thing, and a rogue to unlock all this stuff. So this is the perfect mix to be able to get into Dungeons and Dragons of the group that you're looking for. And now we're at the special features that's in this book. Since we give you a nice tease of that, we'll flip her back around and give our thoughts about the book itself and a little bit of information that we thought that we picked up on the process. Here we are back. It's a standard little library edition that comes over with it. However, the pages are a little thicker, but they're not as thick as they were with Vox Machina, where those were very much like an index thick, but they're pretty close. I want to say they're about halfway as thick. And like I said, this is the origins. So this is going to be the origins of Jester, Yasha, Caleb, and Not. So that gets us what? About halfway through the original cast? That sounds about right. It has a cover price of $49.99 if you buy it from this days. And you can end up finding this normally a little bit cheaper. I would say probably around 30 bucks. And if you are shopping for a book, go over to organicpricebooks.com, use the code of 5th of Jack, save you $2 off. Or if you have 4 or more books, use the discount code of Jacket Together to be able to save 5% off your entire order. With that out of the way, I would say this book overall, I would give it a 6 out of 10. If you're a Critical Role fan, I would say a 7 out of 10. Yes, I know it's the exact same ratings that we had with the Vox Machina one. Well, honestly, it was about the same. This had a lot quicker read to it. It's a little shorter read, so if you're challenged and you want to end up not having to read so much, like let's say you read a Chris Claremont book and you want something a little bit light, this would be a nice book to pick up for that. Also, if you're a fan of the show, especially if you're a fan of the second campaign, you'll like how they ended up illustrating the origins. However, compared to the first one, or Vox Machina, where Vox Machina, we didn't get the origins because when they came over to Geek and Sundry, they ended up switching over to 5e, and we didn't get any of that Pathfinder stuff, that how they ended up coming together. This campaign, we ended up seeing it all the way from start to finish over on the cameras. I think, personally, my favorite story is Jester. I love the art that we ended up having with it, and I love the story. Yasha had a pretty good story as well. I didn't really care for the art, it's just not my style. And let's say Nein and Caleb, not too shabby of stories, I should be saying. But overall, I would say it's a 6 out of 10. If you're a Critical Role fan, a 7 out of 10. What's a book that you've seen that was a little bit off the beaten path? Let us know down in the comments down below. Also, if you're liking the content that we're putting out, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to be notified whenever we come out with new content. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.